Thanks, you guys. Well, of course, we're continuing to track the system. A very powerful storm, current sustained winds at 150 miles an hour. It is still a Category 4 hurricane. And as you can see, just off of Hawaii Island, just over about 400 miles away from Kona. So take a look at this well-defined eye. Again, it is forecast to weaken, but the latest forecast track from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center does not look great. It's not what we like to see with this very powerful system. Way too close for comfort, passing just to the south of Hawaii Island before then hooking up to the north, potentially making direct landfall across the island. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be nearest to Kauai, but as you can see, that cone of uncertainty as of right now does encompass Kauai County, Oahu, Maui County, and portions of Hawaii Island, all of which could still see a direct hit. Now, as of the 5 a.m. update from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center, there is now a hurricane watch in place for Maui County and Hawaii Island. What that means is tropical or hurricane force winds are possible within the next 48 hours. So again, now is the time to be prepared. But with more on our coverage of the hurricane, it takes us to Manoa, where the Central Pacific Hurricane Center has been very busy working 24 hours to track Lane. Now, again, we're going to be rejoining Central Pacific Hurricane Center forecaster John with more on the system. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. And what's the latest? What should people be knowing right now, and what should we expect?
Well, good morning. First off, Hurricane Lane is a major Category 4 hurricane, 150 miles per hour. That's just a notch below a Category 5 hurricane. This is the same intensity almost as what we saw in the Caribbean, which devastated those islands last year, the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. And it's on par with the Hurricane Iniki. This is the real deal, so we all need to be prepared.
Definitely. And in terms of impacts, you know, a lot of people, of course, live through Iniki. Could we potentially be seeing something similar? What would be the biggest impact that we'd be dealing with?
Well, there's several different impacts that we'll be dealing with. First off, there's going to be large battering waves from large swells generated by those strong winds from Hurricane Lane pushing up towards the Hawaiian Islands. We're going to see South Shore surf higher than we've ever seen in recent memory from this storm. We're also going to be seeing very, very heavy rainfall that could lead to flash flooding and mudslides. We're looking at 10 to 15 inches of rain, and in some cases, maybe over 2 feet of rain. And the last and possibly the most significant hazard is that the winds could be extremely dangerous if this ends up impacting Hawaii as a major hurricane.
All right, and also, we haven't seen it doesn't look like strengthened since last night, but still maintained those very strong 150 mile an hour winds. A lot of people are asking, we've been doing Facebook Lives, a lot of people commenting, is it possible that it could strengthen even more so into a Category 5? And why have we not seen it weaken earlier? Because the earlier forecast models were showing this potentially weakening down to a Cat 1, you know, when it passed to the south of Hawaii Island. Things have changed, though.
Yeah, well, the large-scale environment has changed. The wind shear that was supposed to be in place has relaxed, and that's allowed the system to intensify and become a major hurricane. So with the lack of wind shear, the probability of a decrease in those winds is decreasing. As it moves further north here over the next few days, it's expected to get into a wind shear environment, which would help to weaken the storm. And also, as it approaches the Big Island, if it's close enough, those large 14,000-foot mountains might act to rip the storm apart too if it interacts with the Big Island that closely. So there's a couple things that could lead to weakening, but we need to prepare for this storm like it's going to be a major Category 4 hurricane.
Okay, definitely. All right, well, thank you so much, John, once again for joining us from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. And you guys, now is the time to be prepared. Again, many of the forecast models showing a direct hit to Hawaii. Again, the Central Pacific Hurricane Center official forecast just under Kauai. So now is the time to get your supplies ready. All right, Christina Ross, back over to you.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Now, the U.S. Coast Guard has set several readiness conditions for Hawaii's harbors. Condition X-ray for the Big Island ports, which means winds above 39 miles per hour are expected within 48 hours. And condition Whiskey for other islands, which means winds above 39 miles per hour are expected within 72 hours. Now, ports are still open with some restrictions.